Okay, so briefly, I think I should first introduce myself first before I get into the talk. Basically, I started product design in 2018. I think that was during my 300 level, and it was during IT. So I think we were learning Android development at the hub I went for my internship. So I found the whole XML part of Android more interesting than actually writing the whole Java part. So I asked the mentor there whether uh, user experience paid more than development. He was like, in some companies, they pay UX designers more than devs. That's how I actually started designing. I think that was the whole motivation because I felt like I could design more experiences and provide solutions to problems for users. And ever since then, I've been designing different platforms from enterprise platforms to simple mobile apps for companies and brands. So today we'll be talking about user experience. So basically, user experience is just a human first way of designing products. User experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and its products. So basically, UX is something that covers every part of our lives, from how you use your TV remote to how you open the door to how you just to get to wear clothes. So UX is just something that covers how um, humans interact with products. It could be a physical product or a product that is based on online or any type of product at all. So anything you can experience, whether a website, a coffee machine, your visit to the supermarket, how it feels to you as a user. So as a user experience designer, your role in any company or any project you're working on is to first understand the problem, then you try to provide a solution to that, because that's why companies employ UX designers. And in I think when it comes to freelancing, when most of us do freelance, we usually do UI, UX, IX, XR. I think it's IX should be interaction design or something like that. So the thing is this: in big companies, in big companies, you see roles like user experience designer, user interface designer, innovation designer, virtual reality designer. So the whole UX process is broken down and assigned to a team of different people. But if you're the person that is handling it alone as a freelancer, you tend to do most of it, from the interaction design to the UX process to the UX design, sorry, to the UI design and all that in one place. So let's briefly look at the UX process. Now, before you start designing anything, you need to define what you're designing. That's the product definition. So you need to define what you want to design. Say a client meets you and said, okay, I want an app that lets users upload products online, and they can meet different vendors there. Now you need to understand every part of the product. That's where we're now going. You research the product. Let's say if you want to build something that like Jumia, you can go to Jumia and check how the whole user experience is structured on Jumia. You can now go to another platform like say Amazon, eBay. You literally look through the entire competitors. That's market research and all that. While also doing your research, you need to also understand your target audience. So if you're designing a product that's going to be used mostly by people that are left-handed, let's say if you're in a location that okay fine, they say this app is going to be for left-handed people, your whole UX process, your user uh, personas have to match that description of the audience that your product is for. Let's say you're designing an app for, okay, let's say you're designing a social network for teens. Those that teenagers are from, say, 13 to 19. So if you're going to design something like that, you have to think of the, you have to have different personas that match different types of teenagers that will use that app. Let's say you can have John. John is 12. John can be 12 years old, and 13 years old, and he has an Android phone that is 5 inches. Then there is Michael that is 17, and he has an iPhone that is 8 inches. Now, once you're designing your UI now as a UX designer, now in your UX design, the wireframes you drop, you have to make sure that this this design that you're going to make now, it's going to look as good as if it's on a 5 inch phone. It's still going to work and still be functional for someone that has a 6 inch phone. So you don't say, okay, because I am going to build this whole product on a 6 inch phone, and I'm testing on a 6 inch phone. You can't you have to make the product feel like it doesn't go well with those that have 5 inch phones and all that. That is still under analysis. When it comes to analysis, there are different ways you can analyze the product, from market research to drafting out your customer journey and all that. It's a very, very important process when it comes to user experience. And then once you've made once you've now made your research and done all you have to do, you can now move on to the design phase. This is where you now implement everything you've done. And usually, once you're doing your product definition, research, and analysis, the next thing you should go into is drafting out a sketch or a wireframe. Once you're done with your sketch or wireframe, then your customer journey map and your user flow and flowchart, you can now uh, design your high fidelity wireframes based on what you've already designed on your wireframes. Then once you've designed, you can once you're done with the design now, you can now push the design out for the devs to keep building. And I think when it comes to the design phase for UX and UI. Yeah, I think when it comes to the design phase for UX and UI, the thing is this: most designers fail to understand that your work as a UI UX designer doesn't stop after you've done your design and you've pushed it out. If it's a company that you're going to be working in, and it's not freelance, after you've already done the final part of the design and you pushed out, you have to keep in touch with the teams that handle marketing in the company, the teams that handle the building of the app. Now, the reason why I actually say that is this. Now, if you're building a product and the product is released, and the reason why the product isn't selling is because the user experience is bad, the person that is going to take the hit is you. So the reason why you should actually follow up is so you can communicate with them and understand the issues that are going on with the app. If possible, you can also request for access to the user analytics for the app once it's out there. But if it's a freelance project, to the client and ask him what is happening with the app. So once you've gone through the entire UX process, that's an easy way for you to actually design an app that is going to be user friendly and functional as well. So let's go to the next slide. I'll still come back to this previous slide. Now, I think here is one of the most important things for most of us as designers here, especially in Nigeria. I think usually most people ask me as a UI UX designer, how do you get clients and how do you make money solving problems as a designer? So the first thing you have to do is communicate. Now, the communication comes in different forms. Let's say you are a designer and you have platforms like Twitter, there's Weibo, there's Instagram, and there are different platforms where you can uh, post your content. Now, if you have made any, if you've done any design job or you've done any case study for any project, what you can do is this. After you've done the project for a client, if there's no NDA and you're allowed to share the project publicly, what you can do is this. You can share a few screens of the design, add a link to your case study, and share it on social media. Now, the thing is this. I think most people fail to remember this. If you're posting things online often, there are always people that are watching you. I think 2020, I worked for an Australian company. I worked for an Australian company for like 4 to 5 months before I decided to move on. And how I was contacted was based on one of my posts. And literally 85% of jobs that come in for me as a designer is based on posts I make online. So most people might feel okay if they're posting, they're not getting enough engagement. It's like nobody's seeing your job. It's usually not that way. Some people are just waiting for the right time to actually send you a message as a designer. So once the person contacts you and says, okay, fine, I want you to work on this project for me. Now, this is where communication still comes in. You need to understand what the client wants and understand their business objectives too and the kind of product that they want to build. Now, once you can understand that, you can even uh, be able to tell the client, okay, fine, this is not good, this is good. Now, the reason why you're being hired as a designer is it's because the client believes you're an expert in that field. Now, your role now as a designer is to make sure that this product is released and it works very fine and the user experience is good, as well as having a very clean, user-friendly interface. That is your role as a designer. Then we now move up to the second point, which is collaborate. Now, another way to actually make more money as a UX designer is this. If you can collaborate with devs, yeah. For example, now, most times I get projects that, okay, the client wants to build an app or the client wants to build a website. Now, what I can do is this. Since I'm a designer and I know devs that are very good with what they do, I can tell the client, okay, can you hang on a bit? I will send you a proposal. Never, if the client contacts you for a job, never send the exact amount that I want to charge for the project instantly. Just take your time and understand what the client wants. So even if it's a job that you can do on your own, you can still have to take your time to run through the proposal, then send the client what you're going to begin on the project from your design process to the timeline and all that. Now, after under collaborate, so you can still check the pricing for the devs that want to work on the project. Then you can still add it to the proposal that you're going to send to the client. Now, the thing is this: in most cases, the client will feel like you're the one that's actually working on the project. Meanwhile, you have people that are working on it that give you updates. And now, in that sense, now the client is paying higher, and you're paying those that are working for you on the project. from what the client has paid you. So now you're making money from both the design and from also building the platform as well. Now, upsell, upsell. I think upsell usually comes in when you're doing digital marketing as well, but it still comes in on that design. Say, okay, a client contacts me for a UI UX design, and I also do graphics, and I also build websites with WordPress. I could tell the client, okay, fine, I can make this design for you. Then I will now upsell. Upsell means I'm going to add another service I provide to it. I can say, okay, fine. If I'm going to design this website for you on XD or Figma or Sketch or any design tool I choose to use, I could say I could also build it as a live website. Now I'm now offering a service that the client is going to need on that project. Now the the client can say, okay, how much do you charge for doing this on WordPress? Now you can now give the client your price and all that. So now once you've done that, you've made money both for the design, then for the service you're now upselling to the client. Then this is the most, I think, one of the most important part: deliver. Now, in as much as a UX designer, we all try to solve problems and make money from solving problems. The most important thing is to deliver. You cannot let's say you if you have a client and you upsell and you now have other devs that are going to work for you on the project and they don't deliver the project on time, the whole problem is going to be on your head, and most likely the client will no longer want to work with you. And especially in a market like Nigeria, that there are so many people, there are so many people entering design from graphics and all that. I feel the market is getting a bit saturated. But the thing is this: there will always be design jobs. There will always be design jobs, no matter the amount of people that are coming now. But now the only thing that will make you stand out as a designer that also provides other services as a way to try to gain extra money from projects you work on is there's always try to deliver your project on time, and you have to communicate effectively so the client can know what you're doing at each stage of any process. At every process that you get, you have to tell the client, okay, fine, this is where I am at and this is what I'm doing. Now this is the last step, which is a validation. Now validation comes as a way of it's still part of the UX process as well. This is where you test the designs you've done. You can test the live product as well. Once you've tested everything and everything is working well, you can also decide to provide another service to the client if you've solved the particular problem that you wanted it to solve. If you can deliver and also show the client that, okay, your product is functioning well, there is a 90% chance that the client will always come back to you for more project. That is just a very, very simple way to keep your clients as a designer. If you can communicate effectively, collaborate with others when necessary, upsell and provide other services when you can, then delivery is very, very, very important. How you deliver the product matters. Like personally, there was one particular app I designed, Net Niger. I don't know whether any of you guys were actually saw the app on my Twitter page. So I done Net Niger app. The reason for their redesign was that they wanted an app that was going to help users download movies just like their current website. And if you check the current website had lots of ads. It had lots of ads, and so the app was going to be like an easy way for users to avoid all those multiple ads they have they had on their platform. So what I did was I looked through their platform and designed the app in a way that even if the devs decide to add too many ads into the app, it's not going to affect the user experience. So I think for me personally, as a designer, I try my best to make sure that even if there's a problem with the app, or app I've designed or website, that it's never going to be from the user experience or from the user interface. It could be a technical issue. Then I'll know, okay, fine, that one it's not from my own end. But your role as a designer, as a UX designer or a UI designer, is just make sure that everything is going to work work well both for the user and the business. So you need to know the line. You need to understand that line that you need to understand where the business objectives meet the user experience. So we design based on what the business wants to achieve, and also keep in mind what the user wants the platform to help them to solve. So I think that's basically it. I think that's basically it from me. Like I said, I'm not much of a talker. I like interacting, and once people ask me questions, I get to respond and try to clarify. So if you have any questions, you can ask at this point. I can try to explain.